He was going to take him.
The confession pours out, a foul torrent of... The witness stand, Tariq Rahman, a handsome, grieving husband, leans into the microphone. His eyes are fixed on the defendant's table, on his wife.
My wife is a desperate woman.
Anisa Rahman watches him, her face a stone. Her public defender Fatima Chowdhury stands. She is calm, still she holds a single sheet of paper.
Mr. Rahman, this is a DNA comparison.
She lets a silence hang in Dhaka Central Courthouse.
One sample from the victim, Kareem Iqbal, the other from the son you call your own.
Tariq's practiced smirk vanishes. The day before, in the same courtroom.
Mrs. Begum, you knew your son had a medical condition, making it impossible for him to have children, didn't you?
On the witness stand, Tariq's elderly mother, Nusrat Begum, gasps. Her hand flies to her chest.
I.
A sharp cry, the sound of a body slumping.
Order paramedics to the witness box. This court is adjourned.
A gavel slams down, again and again. Moments later, a small, gray holding room behind the court. The heavy door clangs shut. Anisa Rahman turns on her lawyer.
Did you know that would happen?
Her lawyer, Fatima Chowdhury, meets her gaze without flinching.
I knew the truth would break her.
She's an old woman. You could have killed her. Her fear just confirmed it.
We're close. Anisa, he's cornered.
Cornered animals are the most dangerous.
Anisa spends the night staring at the ceiling of her cell, not with fear but with a cold, clear rage. He built this cage for her, lie by lie now. It is time to watch him chew his own leg off to escape. The next morning, the air in Dhaka Central Courthouse feels brittle, ready to snap. The prosecution delivers its closing argument.
A woman scorned, a partnership she resented, a tool of her trade, the cattle prod, that became a murder weapon. The story is simple. It is neat, and it points to one person, Anisa Rahman.
In the front row, Inspector Borkhan crosses his arms, a smug certainty on his face he has his killer. Then Anisa's lawyer, Fatima Chowdhury, rises.
The defense calls a final rebuttal witness.
Objection. The witness list is closed.
On what grounds, Fatima Chowdhury?
On the grounds of new evidence, we call Tariq Rahman to the stand.
A wave of murmurs sweeps the gallery. Tariq cannot be forced to testify against his wife, but he can volunteer. To refuse would be an admission of guilt. Anisa watches her husband. She sees the flicker of panic, quickly masked by arrogant confidence. He thinks he can control this.
I'll testify. For justice, of course.
Tariq Rahman walks to the stand. He places his hand on the Quran and swears the oath without a hint of shame. He looks perfect. A grieving husband, a betrayed man. Fatima begins softly.
Mr. Rahman, please tell the court about your relationship with the victim, Kareem Iqbal.
He was more than a partner. He was my brother. We built everything together.
And your wife's relationship with him?
Anisa, she has a temper. She never trusted our partnership. She thought Karim was trying to cheat me. Cheat us.
He looks at Anisa, his eyes full of false pity. He twists 15 years of shared memories into a noose for her neck. He describes the night of the murder, his story a perfect mirror of the prosecution's timeline, placing her at the scene. Under the defendant's table, Anisa's knuckles are white. She's a spectator at her own execution.
Mr. Rahman, let's talk about something else. You have a son, Samir.
Yes, he's my world.
And you and Anisa, you wanted a family for a very long time, didn't you?
We were blessed. God was good to us.
But it wasn't easy. You sought medical help, didn't you?
I don't recall.
At a clinic, the Padma Fertility Clinic.
I have no memory of that.
Perhaps this will refresh your memory.
Fatima places a file on the evidence projector. A logo appears on the screen behind her. Padma Fertility Clinic.
These are your medical records, Mr. Rahman, from 15 years ago. They state quite clearly a diagnosis of azuspiratomy, a complete inability to father a child.
Dhaka Central Courthouse is utterly silent. Tariq stares at the screen, his face ashen. The charm, the grief, the confidence, it all melts away, leaving something raw and ugly.
This is a lie. A forgery.
He points a shaking finger at his wife.
My wife is a desperate woman.
Fatima lets his words echo, then she holds up the single sheet of paper from the opening.
Mr. Rahman, this is a DNA comparison. One sample from the victim, Kareem Iqbal, the other from the son you call your own.
Tariq just stares at it, his mouth opening and closing like a fish on a dry dock.
My investigator was able to retrieve a water bottle your son used right here in this courthouse last week. The results are conclusive. There is a 99% probability that Kareem Iqbal was Samir's father.
Fatima takes a step closer to the witness box. Her voice is a surgeon's scalpel.
You knew, didn't you, Tariq? You knew Samir wasn't yours, but he was Kareem's.
No.
You and your brother had a deal, an anonymous donation, a secret you would both take to your graves. But he changed his mind, didn't he?
That's not.
Kareem wanted to tell Samir the truth. He wanted to be a father to his son. He threatened you. He threatened to expose the lie your entire life was built on. The family, the business,
the honor you hold so dear. He wasn't just your partner anymore. He was a loose end.
That's not true.
So you went to Karanajan cattle market that night. You took something you knew how to use, Anissa's cattle prod.
She points to the evidence table, at the worn wooden tool.
You met him, and you killed him. Then you brought it back and planted it for the police to find. You framed your own wife to protect your fragile pride.
Lies. All of IT. Lies.
Order, Mr. Rahman.
The judge bangs his gavel, but it is useless. The truth is loose now. A wild animal in Dhaka Central Courthouse. Fatima waits for the noise to subside, her eyes locked on Tariq. Her next words are a whisper that carries to every corner of the room.
The police report says your son Samir was asleep when you got the Rahman house. But he wasn't, was he? He saw you. He saw the mud on your shoes and the fear in your eyes. You told him he was just confused. You used his love for me to make him your accomplice.
It was a guess, a magnificent, terrifying guess, but it struck its target. Tariq's eyes shoot toward the gallery. Finding their son, Samir, he sees the boy's face, pale and shattered. The fight drains out of him. The lies are too heavy to carry. Tariq slumps in the chair, a broken man.
He was going to take him.
The confession pours out, a foul torrent of self-pity and rage.
My son. He was going to tell him I wasn't his father and take him away. After everything I did for him. For them. I built this life. It was mine. He deserved IT. He deserved IT.
Chaos, 100 gasps. Inspector Borpan is on his feet, his face a storm of disbelief. The gavel hammers down, a frantic, useless rhythm against the roar. Bailiffs pull a screaming Tariq from the stand. His perfect life is smoldering in ashes around him. The chaos fades.
In light of this confession, the court finds the defendant, Anissa Rahman, not guilty. Charges are dismissed.
The words feel small, hollow. Anissa is free. She walks out of the defendant's box. Fatima Chowdhury places a hand on her arm.
It's over, Anissa.
But Anissa does not look at her. She looks up to the gallery. For the first time, she sees her son. Her 14-year-old boy, Samir, stands alone, watching her. He isn't crying. His face is a quiet landscape of devastation. She had won. She had her life back. But the price was her son's innocence. The truth hadn't just set her free. He had broken the most important person in her life. Weeks later, the Karanajan cattle market. The air is heavy with the smell of mud and livestock, the sounds of traders shouting, the lowing of bulls. It is the only language that still makes sense. Anissa Rahman stands at the edge of Karanajan cattle market. Her son, Samir, is beside her.
The evening auction will start soon.
I know.
A long silence stretches between them. They don't talk about that day. They don't talk about Tariq or Karim. They just stand, watching the murky waters of the Burugandi River slide by. Anissa's freedom is a heavy thing. It is built on the ruins of her son's world. They say the truth will set you free, but they never tell you what it will destroy in the process.